Снайпер! Контакт! Прикрой меня! Я должен перезарядиться!
1.35 patch. On the Russian common test, there are a lot of high-tier vehicles, including the German Tier 11, the Mausekönig, the Mouse King. Totally unrealistic whatsoever, but still smaller than a rat, supposedly. Now, have you noticed it yet? It's very interesting. Instead of importing our double-barrel British heavy tanks, they're getting their own. Not an import, not the chopper, the conceiver, contender, or the can opener. They're getting their own, different model, different name, not even the same vehicles, and the same guns as well. That is pretty interesting. Now, they're testing only even number on the super test for the tiers. So no tier 9 or tier 7 for now, but it should start at tier 7, supposedly. And they're getting a premium tier 8 that's different than our contradictions. So let's get started with the FV225 Crossbow. That's their premium tier 8. Looks like a L7 or 32 pounder double barrel gun. It's much more chunkier than our conceiver 227 or the contradictions, but contradictions is more like an oscillating turret, weird looking thing. This looks like a big chungus of a pseudo Challenger 1 body, at least for the turret, right? The turret is very modern-esque. Small cupola at the front, double barrel guns. Hull front kinda looks like the contender at tier 9. A little bit, right? Doesn't have the ridges, but has the little bulge for the driver. The 229 at tier 9. So it is labeled as premium now, but it should be, yeah, it should be premium as opposed to the FV240. So they have a weird looking credit change to the icon, so that's not bonds, that's credits. They changed the icon for gold and credits to this looking logo thing, but Crew 5, similar to our double barrel British heavy tanks, but twin barrel 105 L7. Now, what is also interesting is they kept the original or default double barrel mechanics. It's not entering the double barrel mode or their siege mode as with our vehicles. It's very similar to the Russian style of the double shot. Yeah, prep and then you double shot. 1.5 seconds, that's pretty quick. 4 seconds of lock time is longer than the average of like 3 seconds or 5, but yeah, it's still okay. Not as bad as our recent Zwilling or Suwilling, if you want, the E65. So DPM is not bad for a double shot L7, right? Accuracy could be a little bit better, aim time could be a little bit better, but only 6 degrees of gun depression. Tanks.gg has not been updated yet, but it might be only like 6 on the front. Might be like 10 on the sides or in this crevice, but it's not as good as default British 10 degrees of gun depression. 1500 health, 102 at the hull front, 152 at the turret front. It is sloped, but let's see how good the armor is. Hull front about 220, as about average-ish, other than the driver viewport. 210 or so, 230, so about the average for upper plate. Bottom plate about 200, about average. The tracks are sloped backwards at 203, so auto bounce for the turret cheeks. You could jam a shell to the base of the turret in the front, besides the mantlet that will pin, but otherwise you're not jamming through the mantlet most of the time. Cupola is small, so the only weak spot is around the gun mantlet with a high caliber gun. Alright. It does have side skirts, only 76 behind it. But it's at an angle. So there is a slight V shape. Yeah, slight V shape right here. So it could bounce a few right there. But otherwise, the tracks with the space armor should help it with the 76mm slightly. It's not that bad. I would prefer this vehicle over the conceiver, the FV227. Namely, no bulging cupola on top. 227? This cupola is massive. It's also a 32 pounder, not a 105 L7. Yeah, it's only 32, right? It's a 32, twin 32, with the special mechanic mode of not prepping, so no locking also, but take a hit to your mobility in the double fire mode, whereas this vehicle doesn't have to hit. Top speed of only 30, horsepower per turn ratio of 12, not the fastest. 100 tons of weight. How is it that heavy? Holy crap, it's a big chunky boy. It weighs a lot. Camo's kinda meh. And view range, 380. Slightly below average. Average is 390. But turret front is much stronger than the gigantic tumor of a cupola, so we should compare this to the actual contradictious, but it's the premium against the premium, right? So for the contradictious, that thing is weird. It has a weird oscillating turret of a pseudo weak spot on the rangefinders, but contradictious, yeah, the rangefinder is a pseudo weakish, but hull front is not bad. This thing is also more mobile than 12 horsepower per ton ratio. Also, this thing has like 8 degrees of gun depression. 10, never mind, 10. So base DPM is about the same. Base alpha is surprisingly also the same, even though this is a higher caliber gun compared to a 94mm. But this should be a twin barrel 32, right? Never mind, what the hell am I talking about? It's also a twin barrel L7. It's not a 32 pounder. Alright. Surprisingly the same alpha damage. Our version is faster with... There's a cupola weak spot, but... I don't know which one's better. The crossbow or the contradictious. That's up to you, but this version is faster and better gun depression. This is more chunky of a body. Alright, moving on to the tech tree version of the British double barrels, the FV240. So testing is marked. It's not a premium. It's all in Russian. Twin 32 pounders. Looks like 32s. So similar to our premium tank against the actual normal tech tree. Smaller caliber gun for the tech tree version. The back end looks very much like a British vehicle, like an actual Valentine or so, or even the chopper. The turret is not as modern. The cupola is also more massive of a lip, but slightly rounded hull front, also slightly. So this definitely looks more like a chopper to me. But 32 pounder? 32 pounder, of course it is. Less alpha damage. There's no research for now, so they're testing it. Testing even tiers for now, but all the modules are default or supposedly elite at this point. Crew of 5. Fits all the other British heavy tanks of the same line, but yeah, that's more like the actual conceiver. Yeah, it's also the same. Same alpha damage. Even the cupola is more prominent. Not as prominent as this gigantic cupola, but it's still there, right? The cupola is still there. I wonder how much it compares to our version of the Twin 32. It's very similar. I mean, close enough, right? I don't have equipments on mine, but 10 degrees gun depression compared to 10 degrees gun depression. Why is it only 6 on the crossbow? That sucks. DPM about the same, accuracy, aim time about the same, penetration obviously the same. Slightly better pen, but not that much. R reload faster, 7 seconds compared to 8 seconds. That's interesting. We do have the double shotting weirdness. This thing has the prepness, so if you switch the shell while it's reloading, you take the full reload, which sucks. So don't switch shell unless you're fully reloaded. It's a weird mechanic of the double shotting on the R version of the vehicles, but yeah, it's still a 32 pounder. Can I see the actual gold shell? It's more interesting on stuff like the Sturmtiger to see the shell velocity, but 878, that is slow. Still, but APCR, APDS, it's okay. That is real bad for the shell velocity on this thing. I mean, this shell velocity is also not that crazy. Slightly faster, but not that crazy. Alright, let's see the actual armor on the FV240. Health, 1600. 152 on the hull front, sloped 240 on the turret front. A lot stronger turret front baseline than the crossbow, but still shoot at the base. You could pin, but that's 240 in comparison to 200. So that's dramatically better than the premium tank. Does have the cupola now. Also this bulge right here for the commander. That's not as well sloped. That's 200. Oh no. No, that's for the gunner. Yeah, that's the gunner. Commander's in the back. Cupola obviously weak spot, but yeah, this bulge on the turret cheek negates the sloping on the sides. So much weaker right here. Hull front. Yeah, 250 on the upper plate. Other than the driver hatch. Actually, driver hatch is less slope but better armored. Yeah, less slope but better armored. At about 250-ish still. Upper plate is relatively decent at the back end, but at the front end, it's only about 200. Same for the bottom plate. So always gun depression. Hull down, right? Always gun depression. Side skirts on the hull side, 76 again for the side armor. 27 for the engine deck. That's slope upwards. Oh no. It's like a Valentine or like a chopper. Yeah, a little bit higher on your shot, you'll pin the engine deck. Well, it's side scraping. Or the turret base. It's slightly rounded for the turret ring support, and therefore negating some of the armor. So not as good side scraping unless the person doesn't know what the hell they're doing or shooting. But shoot the cupola, obviously. Yeah, it's more prominent of a cupola, but better gun depression. That's a trade-off. Is it like the chopper? Kinda. I mean, it's differently sloped than the chopper, but alright. 12.6 horsepower per ton ratio. Not as heavy as a crossbow, but a lot better top speed at 36. That's fine, I guess. Still kind of meh, average camo and view range. I mean, it's okay. Which one's better, this one or the actual conceiver on our server? Ooh. We have better DPM baseline. Cupola's bigger though. Mobility is about the same, more or less. Close enough. We have better horsepower per ton, but they have better top speed. Yeah, slightly better top speed. Top speed by 2. It's the cupola. The cupola's freaking massive. I don't know, they're about the same, but you might be more consistent with the FV240. Alright, moving on. So no tier 9 for testing for now, but ooh la la. French tier 8 premium tank destroyer. The Coutelas? Alright. Basically a French Kampfpanzer III GST term, or Vipeira, or the CC64, the tech tree version, or XM57, the Hunchback with a pseudo turret at the front. Now the French gets one. Or like the British Excalibur, but Excalibur doesn't compete with the other tier 8s. It has no armor at tier 6. It's a van. These are more Hunchback of Assault TD. This is support though. It's not Assault. 120mm autoloader. 3 round in the clip. I mean, okay-ish DPM for autoloader, but not a single shot as with the XM57 or Kampfpanzer III GST term. It's an auto reloader for the Vipeira CC67. A crew of 4. Autoloader. 3 seconds between each shell. 3 rounds in the clip. About 30 seconds for reload of the whole magazine. It is 30 degrees per side of traverse and 10 degrees gun depression, but as with the Foch, you have a gigantic cupola with the periscopes and the rangefinders. Oh boy. It's stupid looking. It's not as, rhombus-y shape as a Vipeira or the Kampfpanzer III GST term. It's more like the XM57, right? But that thing is a Hunchback with a cupola in the back. This is the cupola in the front, practically. 220 turret front, 150 hull front, 1200 health. About 100 less than the average, right? But as expected, the tumor is still prominent. At least the rangefinder is not exactly a weak spot. You can shoot at it and damage the periscope, but yeah, the rangefinder is not exactly there. Similarly, funny enough to the contender, right? Yeah, the tier 9 contender also has this weird gimmicky periscope of not being actual collision. Not the can opener. It's a weird periscope armor thing where shooting at it will damage the periscope, but not the actual hit points. So it's a hit, but that's not exactly the actual cupola, funny enough. So, not really that good at assault TD as with the Vipeira, right? But it is sloped turret front at about 300mm effective, which is not half bad. But the base is only 240 or so. The actual hull is kind of average, 200. So very much similar to the Kampfpanzer III GST term or the Vipeira. Vipeira has a slightly better upper plate and not the cupola weak spot. But side armor, 70. The Hunchback in the back, shoot the Hunchback, you'll pin. It's only 70. Do they even have the Kampfpanzer III GST term? I doubt it. We'll check later, but I doubt they have it. So yeah, the cupola just basically negates the entire armor whatsoever. It's still a support, but it is actually fast. 17.8 horsepower per ton ratio and 50 kilometers per hour top speed. That is dramatically faster than XM57 or Kampfpanzer III, right? So dramatically faster, but yeah, the cupola negates all the armor whatsoever. 45 tons though. Camo, not half bad. 21.5-ish%. View range could be better, but it is what it is. 370. Radio standard. There's an influx of these Hunchback assault TDs. Like recently with the loot box, I don't think I have it. Yeah, they don't have updated loot box on this version. Yep, it's all my original. So it's mostly like the Vipeira. Yeah, practically like a Vipeira, but Vipeira is not that fast. Yeah, it's definitely not that fast. And the XM57 without the rhombusy shape of the body, the streamline of the body, it's more like a tumor, or like this thing, practically. Yep, the tumor in the back, so everybody gets a hunchback. Now the French gets one. That's fun. At least it's fast, right? At least it's a little bit fast compared to the regular Viperus, but gigantic tumor on top. Object 407 M3. Premium tier 9. It's like a 907 when you think about it. Just more rhombusy or roundedness on the whole front. That's really like a stepchild or half-brother to a 907. Do they even have the ST62 for Clan Wars? I wonder. It's a tier 9 though, it's not a tier 10. It's also a premium with side skirts. And you obviously know the sloping on the hull sides. It's practically auto bounce in the tracks, but yeah, that's like a 907 at tier 9. Practically. Cupola is kinda massive, but yeah, the shape of it, really like a 907. Alright, crew of 3. Only 3-man crew, so is it autoloader? Auto-reloader. What? 85mm gun? 4 round in the clip. Inverse auto-reloader. Loading the first shell is the fastest compared to the last shell. For all Russians mostly, but only 230 alpha damage. Huh. I mean, it's a premium, so fine, but interesting. It's a quick aim time, but accuracy is mediocre. DPM is okay, but it's still 6 seconds between each shot, right? So that's about the same alpha damage as a tier 8 vehicle, except for 6 seconds the Object 140 reloads the 320 alpha for the 100mm practically. So yeah, you take a hit in DPM department. 6 degrees the gun depression. Traverse speed is fast enough, but last shell is 12.7. Holy crap, for a 230 alpha gun? Yeah, not that great. Gold shell is 320, supposedly high explosive anti-tank, but oh, I don't know. It's kind of weird how some of the Russian high tier vehicles have 85mm. The same applies to their projectile. So they don't have the 105 on their projectile. They have a 90mm. It's about 5 round in the clip though. So hull front, it's 120 and 220 for the turret front. It is rounded. It's a very troll cheek. So don't shoot the cheeks, don't shoot the bottom. It's like a mini 907 practically, but it's 100 even though support for the tracks, yeah, this ridge right here negates the roundiness of the actual side scraping. So not completely immune while side scraping, but it's very troll. Very troll. There should be side skirts. 5mm side skirts, slightly. Auto bounce on the actual above the track armor. Cupola front, weak spot. 120 rounded. Turret roof, have a high penetration gun if you can overmatch. Turret base is about 230, 240-ish. Alright. It is a very troll armor. So couple that with mobility, and this is not a half bad vehicle, even though the alpha might be a little bit wonky. 18 horsepower per ton ratio, 50 kilometers per hour top speed. Very quick hull traverse, weighs about 40-ish tons. It's a weird looking vehicle too. It's also like the CS44, except the hull front is more like a 907, right? The back end looks like a CS44 to me. Also the turret design, the pan shape of a turret. That's funny. Camo, not half bad. 16, it's okay. It's above average. Average is about 15 or 14. View range 390 at tier 9 could be better, right? Slightly below average ish. But, I mean, okay. We could see this on our server, except they'll probably replace the gun for like a 100mm or something, but... Alright. We're done with all the low tiers, mostly. The Gasta. The hell is this thing? Premium tier 9, Italian medium. Weird looking hull shape, by the way. It's a chunky projectile, more or less. I mean, it has a few bulging spots, especially on the hull cheeks, but... Huh. Alright. Does the gun compute? It should be an auto reloader. Should be. No, it's a single shot. That's interesting. Sniper. Italian single shot. You don't see much of those. You really don't see single shot on the Italians. Ever. 4-man crew. Yeah, that's weird. It's like an L7 practically. More or less a copy. Has the accuracy, aim time. DPM could be, it's a sniping gun for a tier 9. Yeah, it's about the same DPM as a 7.1 or so. As expected, but no armor whatsoever. 1600 health. Garbage armor all the way around, other than the mantlet, but don't expect to bounce too many shots unless it's top of the mantlet on the turret roof. But yeah, not that much. There's a 120 space armor? That's space armor? It doesn't look like it. I think the mantlet, yeah, the mantlet is 120. The turret roof is only 45. Yeah, that's the mantlet. It's showing me the mantlet. That's a mantlet. So you can still jam it through the machine gun port, the coaxial machine gun port, or the gunner sights, but no armor. No armor whatsoever. Especially at the little bulge right here. It cannot side scrape. So at least has 8 degrees of gun depression. Right? It's a sniping medium tank, but 20 horsepower per ton ratio, no gimmick, no turbo mode, just pure up 20 horsepower per ton and 60 kilometers per hour top speed. Let's see. 15% dispersion while traversing the hull and moving the hull. Not half bad. It's okay. I think our Eric has like 14% or something like that, but might be 14, might be 15. So, I still prefer the Eric. Eric looks cool, but has no gun elevation. Camo could be better, below average, and 390 meters of view range. It's a sniper. It's like a Leopard Proto or standard Proto for the Italian, except without the autoloader. It's not too crazy, right? Not too flavorful, but yeah, tier 9 premium, tier 9. It's not Felice, right? It's not the weird mixing of an assault medium tank into the Italians for some reason. Alright, on to the fun stuff. On to the Condor. Their can opener. It makes the bonds at tier 10. Is that a Charlemagne body? No, it's way better sloped than a Charlemagne body. You see it on the GSOR, the tank, but turret looks more like a double gunned Centurion turret a little bit. Not the middle cupola though. Middle cupola is off. Yeah, it's kind of weird. The whole front looks like a better sloped Charlemagne. Yeah, it looks more like an Action X Carnarvon or Centurion turret, except double, practically. And the cupola moved to the middle. Is it twin L11? L7 gun? It's not a 120, it's only L7. Oh, that sucks. Oh, it's 410 alpha. Still not as 420 alpha on the double 120s on the can opener. Let's see. It should be 120. I'm not that old. It's L1. I thought it was L11. Never mind. But Alpha damage is about the same. We have the weird double shot mode compared to their prep time, of course. 5-man crew. 1.5 seconds prep, which is real quick. 4 seconds lock. DPM is not that crazy. It's 10 seconds of reload for 410 alpha. We have about 9 seconds on the Cannon, 9.5. So this thing has better DPM. Straight up. Armor is also pretty decent. Small cupola, right? Gun depression. Very strong hull front, turret front. Cupola is a little bit bigger on the Condor. Accuracy aim time is also kind of off. Ugh. Yeah, accuracy aim time is kind of garbage. Even for a double shotting gun, right? It's an L7. It should be at like 0.33 accuracy with like 2.2 seconds of aim time. It is quick to prep, but they're about the same turret traverse speed too. Holy crap. Can openers. Firepower wise, can openers better. It looks like on paper, can opener is better, but 2,300 health, 150 hull front, 250 turret front. It is sloped. It is very well sloped at a pike shape for the 150 at about 300mm effective. Bottom plate is also somewhat well sloped too at about 240mm effective. Oh, I mean, slightly stronger bottom plate, right? Cupola? Cupola is a sliver of 120. You could jam a shell through the turret roof, similar to the Action X, Carnarvon, or Centurions, right? High penetration gun will destroy your turret front. That's a downside to the Action X Centurion. Yeah, turret front against normal shell, you'll bounce, but yeah, gold shell will go through, especially on the tumor, on the cupola. It's not as strong of a turret as with this thing. This thing is strong. You don't have a weak turret roof. It does have still the cupola thing, but yeah, you cannot jam a shell through this turret front. Yeah, it's not like 270, right? It's 320. You'll struggle with the side of the cheeks too. Bottom plate, upper plate might be about the same. Funny enough. I mean, it's all about the sloping, but high explosive in the tank doesn't care about sloping, so yeah, okay. This thing seems stronger now. The can opener still seems a little bit stronger than your Condor. 13.3 horsepower per ton ratio for 40 km/h top speed. No, this thing is not that fast. No. It has side skirts, but it's not that fast. I forgot about the side armor. 10mm side skirts, 100 behind it. Meh. Right? I mean, compared to this thing, also about the same. But this is a Chungus. Yeah, this thing is Chungus. So it's 110 above the tracks. But this thing has better horsepower per ton than your Condor. 13.9 horsepower per ton. It has better top speed, but I feel more confident in the can opener's armor than the Condor's armor, right? Especially for the turret roof. Also the DPM too. Don't forget. DPM, kinda important. Camo, View range, At least better view range than this thing, but you have field mods for it, so for the view range, camo about the same. This feels like a truck, right? This feels like a truck. It feels chungus, 90-ish tons. Strong turret front, very powerful gun. This is like a gigantic Action X Centurion on a modified Charlemagne body. A little bit. 75 ton is still nothing to scoff at, but this feels like a mutated Centurion Action X, right? Kinda. I think the can opener is stronger, especially in the firepower department. Yeah, firepower is way better. Accuracy, aim time, the actual alpha damage slightly. It's the same traverse, same gun depression, but better DPM by like 300. Which is kind of important in stuff like Onslaught, so... yeah, unfortunately, our can opener seems a little bit better, but... the return of the Sturmtiger. Not a special mode vehicle anymore. It's a Tiger with a 380mm rocket assisted shell. I mean, funny enough, War Thunder has this vehicle for a while. Shoot down the gun barrel. Immediate ammo rack. It's such a big hole that you can lob the shell of your smaller gun into the gun barrel of this vehicle, directly detonating the actual shell and therefore killing the vehicle. But goddamn, it's aggressive. It's so good looking of a goddamn stupid looking. It's a box with a gun on top practically. Yep. 38cm rocket propelled 300mm pen. It should be high explosive. Or high explosive in the tank. 1450 alpha damage. And 2010 for the high explosive. It takes about 36 seconds to reload. Oh no. I mean, at least 3 seconds of aim time, right? 0.5-ish accuracy. It's not accurate. Shell velocity must suck. At least like 300 meters per second. I need to see the shell velocity. It's a heat round. It's 360 meters per second shell velocity. Oh god, you're lobbing the shell. You're lobbing the shell at this point. Yeah, 360 meters per second. At sea level. At normal temperature, like room temperature. The speed of sound is about 342, 43 meters per second. So you can basically almost hear this sound of the gun before you actually get hit. Which is funny, but it's a very slow shell. Granted, it deals a lot of damage. 80mm of pen high explosive. Do you want to wait 35 seconds to instantly nuke a paper armor target? You'll nuke a Waffentrigger off E100, the Phoenix. You'll nuke a FV225, right? In a second. But you have to hit. And hitting with this vehicle is the big downside of playing with this gun. You don't instantly ammo rack. I don't think so. Unlike War Thunder, our version of the vehicle has a hitbox that does not immediately auto ammo rack if you shoot through the gun barrel. If that's the case, then goddamn, this vehicle sucks. It's a 150 superstructure front with a... Jesus. I wonder if it happens. There's armor, supposedly, right? If you shoot the mantlet and shoot the gun barrel. But I don't know if you hit the middle of the actual, like shoot through the actual gun barrel and hit the actual ammo behind it. I don't think it's a thing, which is a big buff to the actual vehicle, right? But otherwise you have practically no armor at tier 10 other than the mantlet and the gun. So 80 for the hull sides, yep. But it's all about it's artillery piece, right? They should just label it assault artillery, as with the Russian server, but it's a tank destroyer. All the German tank destroyer crew, which is good. But 2000 health, you can nuke itself if it hits the side armor with 80, theoretically. But 36 seconds for a, if you manage to hit 1500 alpha. Now it's a slow shell, it's high explosive in the tank, it gets detonated by space armor, which means it's useless against mantlets, tracks, space armor practically. So this is a meme. 12 horsepower per ton ratio, 38 kilometers per hour top speed. Dispersion while moving is not bad, surprisingly. It's 0.2. I would expect like 0.4. It's not like 60% on this page. So it's surprisingly not bad while shooting and moving, but still not good. I mean, the shell is slow, right? The whole traverse is also pretty slow. The gun moving about, slow. Camo is surprisingly not bad for a Tiger, but yeah. And 400 meters of view range. This is a gimmick. This is a really stupid gimmick. We saw the recent BZT-70, our version at tier 10, with a auto reloader, 180mm, right? That deals about 1,300-ish alpha with high explosive, but this is the creme de la creme of toxic piece of crap. At least our version of a BZT has armor. This thing doesn't have armor, so it'll be real beneficial if this thing could fire indirectly, lobbing the shell over cover. That would dramatically help. I don't think they label that. That's why this thing is not an assault artillery, right? Not a 261/4. So it cannot indirect fire, which dramatically hampers this vehicle. But it's a meme. It's a stupid meme. Alright, final vehicle. The Mausekönig. Tier 11. After some weird, super tough condition, it's their like 4th personal mission set, but you're not getting this vehicle normally. I saw it's like 8,000 damage average for like 10 battles or something like that. So I don't know. It's big. It's 1.5 mouse in width, about the same length. Massive vehicle. Double barrel gun with a gigantic mini turret on top that looks like a 75. That could be a 75 autoloader. There's also a machine gun. Yeah, this large machine gun with the actual anti-aircraft sights for the gunner, but it's a big hulking beast of a vehicle. Jesus Christ. Is it double 128? Double 128s. 6 seconds. Wait a minute. Prep time is 2.5, right? It's 6 seconds to reload the gun. That is quick. No, it's switching the gun. What the hell am I talking about? Switch from one gun to another gun is 6 seconds. Reloading the gun is 11.5. Alright, that makes a lot more sense. A lot more sense. What the hell is 4? 4 seconds to switch? What the hell is 5.75? Oh, rounds per minute. That's rounds per minute. It's 4 seconds to switch between each gun. Quickish prep time, very quick lock time, 5,000 DPM. What? How's it 5,000 DPM? How the hell are you getting 5,000 DPM from like 5 rounds per minute? This is off. No way you have 5,000 DPM, right? It's only 5.75 rounds per minute. I don't know where they're getting 5,000 DPM from. No idea. Possibly a bug. It is double track or spare track system, so cannot really slow this vehicle down. So if you already have improved hardening, you're not stopping this thing. But yeah, it's not 5,000 DPM. That's off. That's dramatically off. If it's 5 rounds per minute, it's about 2,500 DPM, right? More or less, a little bit less, but yeah, it's not 5,000 DPM. Where the hell are you getting 5,000 from? High explosive? Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's about 10 to 14 seconds. There might be a special mode, like the special perk, where this thing gets like super fast reload. for tier 11 special perk, but it's not 5,000 DPM normally. 3,400 health. It's more health than the other tier 11s. Other tier 11s doesn't have the same health as a mouse. Can't even compete. This is the most health out of a single vehicle normally. 250 hull front. Only 100 hull sides. I mean, space armor, obviously, but 260 turret front. It's massive. Slope, 250 hull front compared to 200 on the E100 or the mouse. So, bomb plate, 210. Gold shell will struggle. Turret cheek is only 270. You could jam a shell through the turret cheek, similar to the mouse. Unless he's angled the turret, but you cannot jam it through the mantlet. The cupola is 240, rounded. And on top, so you're shooting at an angle from bottom to up. So, not exactly a weak spot, right? Not exactly a weak spot for the cupola. Or mini machine gun turret thing. But side armor is 100, except there's a slab of space armor right here. How much is space armor? 100? So it's theoretically 200mm side armor. Yeah, it's 200mm side armor. 100mm side skirts. So it could be like the E90 the T95, where this part is actually separate from the hull. You can theoretically take off the side armor, the side skirts, exposing the actual side armor, but yeah, you can shoot at the bottom through. Yeah, not really. There's 2 pairs of tracks and side armor, space armor too. Yeah, you're not penetrating side scraping this vehicle. Not really. Tier 8s, well, this thing doesn't see tier 8s. Tier 9s will struggle on a flat surface against the side armor because of the double tracks and the space armor. It is 200 flat, right? But gold shell, high explosive anti-tank will not go through. Not at any point other than the turret. It's 260 turret sides. Holy crap. It is 260 turret front too, so it's all 260. It's 200 in the back. This is the best side scraping vehicle for the hull in the game. Period. No question. Is there space armor for the ass? No, but it's still 200 for the ass. You can angle the ass, and that will not pin at 300mm. The weakest armor on this vehicle is 200mm, by the way. That is nuts. It's also a slope downwards cheek, or turret back end. Can you shot trap into the engine deck, which is only 50? I mean, alright, superfluous at this point, but the weakest armor is 50 on the engine deck. And 50 for the hull roof, but unless you shot trap from the mantlet into the hull roof, it's 200mm baseline on the armor all the way around, and 260 for the turret front and sides. It's 240 for the cupola, or machine gun mini turret. Yeah, it should have APFSDS for the gold shell. We'll take a look in a second, but weighs 250 tons. Still has 9.6 horsepower per ton ratio at 20 km/h top speed. You would be stupid to ram this thing in a KV5. You would not say a KV5, but this is basically what KV5 feels like to normal vehicles when it's ramming a KV5. It's so heavy. No camo, of course. 410 meters of view range. Is it APFSDS for the gold shell? where it deals more damage the more distance it goes through vehicle. It is. Alright. So gold shell deals more damage the bigger body it hits. So hitting a machine gun or cupola does not as much damage as shooting the body. Of course, but it's not 5,000 DPM. Where the hell you get 5,000 from? I have no idea. Maybe the special mode or special perk, which boosts your DPM or reload time. I have no idea, but yeah, this is a beast. Well, there you go, folks. The Mausekönig, the Mouse King. So interesting how they're getting their own British double barrel vehicles, but not as strong, in my opinion, as with the actual can opener. Can opener is like a 7 out of 10 on our tech tree. This vehicle is like a at best 6, not really. So it's okay. It's not bad. Its firepower is definitely not as strong as the can opener, but you have a meme vehicle, you have a few premium tanks to fill, and a tier 11 that nobody seems to will get from the personal mission set. So it's super difficult from what I hear, but there it is after the Murat. So Murat is the 3rd mission set for the final reward. It has armor compared to our version. It's more like a assault medium tank. And this is the 4th, practically, of personal mission for the Russian server. But, well, there you go, folks. This video will render for a while, but he talks. So we'll cover the special skin in the next video, but they have a special battle pass skin as well as a few other ones. But for now, the video is already long enough. But as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
На границе тучи ходят хура, край суровый, тишиной объят. У высоких берегов Амура часовые лошади стоят. У высоких берегов Амура часовые лошади стоят. Там врагу